This says that the beginning of this street is Fuat Askanai Street.
Now, the original name of this place after the 1880s, we've been following it since after the 1870s.
Hava Street. Do you know, though, why is it called Hava Street?
Again, according to what is told by MK, it says Grand Pera across there. This large area, that is from the beginning of this street to the beginning of that street, belongs to a family called the Hava family. Again, a Lebanese Aleppo family. They are both merchants and bankers. Here are their properties on this street. This used to be a lettuce field.
This was a field in the 1880s.
Here's the building in front of which we're talking, also built by the former governor of Jebel, Lebanon, Franco Pasha Datta.
Well, what is the name Fuat Uskinai? A very important name.
Which period is the leader of our first cinema world?
And the Pasha Committee of Union and Progress.
Where are we seeing first? We are seeing here. First, after the 93 war in Yeshilkoi, the Russians had a monument built there, and then the monument is demolished. While it's being demolished, the man who filmed the demolition of that monument, Mr. Fuat, shot that film, which is 150 meters long. He will then be taken into the army. The Army Photo Film Center will be established for us, but later he will also shoot feature-length films. The later name of this street will also be Yeni Melek Street.
It changed to Yeni Melek Street.
Too bad, whatever they will do.
While it was one of the important symbols of our cinema history.
We express with sadness, of course. The region has always been the correct, determined names of our cinema world, our people. For example, the name of Bursa Street will be Sadrul Ishik. Other streets will change. They will be Ayhan Ishik, dear friends, and names of filmmakers will be given. If you're wondering why we see Fuat Askanai instead of Hava Sokao, this is why we see it this way.
What was your name? Nusret. Bahtish. Kanagan. Isho. Rafu. Dear Mr. Nusret. Barach. Batul Arjan.
How many years did you stay in this apartment?
I stayed for 22 years.
What did you do here?
I'm a tailor.
Which floor?
First floor.
I'll get into a lift fight.
Did you stay on the first floor? Or the fourth floor?
He stayed on the first floor. Not the fourth floor. First floor? He stayed on the floor where I am.
Really?
They keep saying fourth floor. Fourth floor. That's why.
He just... Look here.
What year did you come here?
I came here in 86.
Were there any furnishings here when you came to this apartment?
Left from the old days, there were no furnishings. Before me, there was a man here who made a belt for the harness. He stayed for about 2 months. Then I came here. About 35-40 years ago, they came here from TRT2. They found this place along with 2 old people like this. Obvious. Yeah. Lost us. They had gas suits on them. They came and asked me questions just like them. The man described this place in such a way. What he said is true because I demolished that dickhole. Oh, really? There are 2 partitions. The front room. There's a large room in front. There's also a small room in the back. A partition was made in the front room. Assigned it, he said. The work desk was there in front of that window. The work desk is here. Stayed here for 12. The work desk was here. Described it. Indeed, it's true. I broke it because they... Thank you very much. Else to your mouths.
So what is the importance for us?
Now let's come to that.
Why are we here? Why was there interest before too?
We heard it from the gentleman too. How many years ago documentaries were made by TRT?
The reason is this, sir. Shah Mustafa Kemal Pasha was lastly, as you know, at the Syrian front. Yeah, he was lastly there.
The Thunderbolt armies were established. 4th Army, 7th Dutch Army, etc. All were there. 457.
The Mondros War ended.
Mustafa Pasha will return.
But something like this happened. Earlier, his health was always problematic, you know. Since childhood, Mustafa Kemal's health was problematic. While in military high school, dear friends, he came back from death. His mother took him from school. He had to be taken care of at home for 4 months. Seriously. His health was always poor. He has problems in his kidneys. He suffered from malaria. We can understand. The whole life passed on front. There's nothing to eat, no nutrition, no sleep. These people are normal. He got sick again in Aleppo too. Again, problems with kidneys. But there is also something like this. Below in the Syrian front, news was coming to Zubaida Hanım here. One of the news that came is this, dear friends. Sir, he was blinded. Zubaida Hanım is in a miserable situation. Sirat Abbas Abdurrahim Tunsak, adopted child with insults came. He said, Sirat Abbas, Madam, I am returning to Mustafa Kemal Pasha. My leave is over. Do you have any orders? You cried and such. I hear such and such news. Take me with you. Sirat Abbas did not say anything at first. He returned, as far as I understand. He sent a telegram to Mustafa Kemal Pasha, saying like this, Madam wants to come. He approved as well. He took Abdurrahim. They went there, if you ask how. By train, of course. They landed from Adana. Even there's something like this. He doesn't believe, thinks he's blind. Even Mustafa Kemal says, like, this mother. Look into my eyes. I see you look. I tell you, he agreed hard. And sick with the kidneys. Abdurrahim tells. He says we went to a mansion. Okay, whose house did it? He says we went to the mansion of Salih Fansa. Someone very well known from Istanbul. There were orange groves. We stayed with them. They stay there for a while. There's a sergeant who comes to Istanbul on leave. They place Zubaida Hanım around the Durahil next to him. And they return to Istanbul like that. So it means they are there with the family we call Fansas. After a while, this family, as you know, the British occupied Damascus, Aleppo. When they occupied, the relations there deteriorated. These are wealthy families, merchant families. They also decided to come to Istanbul. They come to Istanbul. They rent this Franco apartment. As far as I understand, they might have bought the apartment. And I just told, when staying in Pera Palace, Fansa was continuously going to Salih Bey. The name of the wife is Selma. Do not stay here. Both occupation and the powers are annoying you. It's expensive here, it's obvious. Money won't be enough. That's quite obvious. Why don't you come when he came? What did the gentleman just tell us? His room was on the first floor. However, the memoirs tell us something. It's expressed as being on the fourth floor. However, the gentleman who has been here for 22 years, the gentleman with the sewing workshop, what did he tell us? I was on the first floor. I came, I messed up the decorations and such. Something was said during the process. What else matters here? I mean, why are we emphasizing this? Because there are two important events here. Do you know what one of them is? One of them, sir, is that Ali Fethi first received the news of his exile to Malta and his arrest here. Secondly, and more importantly, there is a significant issue in private life, talked about very much. The probing of Mustafa Kemal Pasha regarding the marriage of Sultan Vahdettin's daughter Sabiha Sultan took place in this building. It's important from that perspective. If you're asking, what are the main reasons we're here? As you can see, when we step on the footsteps of Mustafa Kemal in Istanbul, why do we end up in this street? Today, this place is used as a boutique hotel, and as you can see, perhaps a foreign lady. Would you look at the lines of buildings? From where to where they turn, and we don't even see a signboard here. Yeah, a signboard. Let's call upon today's mayor of Beyoğlu. Then what can I say? Let this also be related. In conclusion, sir, this is what happens. Vahdettin, his sister's daughters, his cousin, sir. He sent her Mundulve, Sultan's name. Like this, he talks to Ms. Selma. I describes this situation. So, who is one of those who knows about this? Dr. Ferit Rasim? Let me open a parenthesis. Years later, Tansuchila will buy his mansion.
Mansion? Today's army mansion? Very well, be sure. Its story is another very different story as well.
Anyway, sir, I am drifting from one topic to another.
Of course, when you walk so much in the streets of Istanbul, sir, this happens.
Razin Talay conveyed the situation to Ms. Zubaidi. Ms. Zubaidi is not in good health either. Of course, she really wants it for her son to be like Enver Pasha. Why? Because what does every mother think of her son? My son is worthy of sultanas. Sultana? Anyway, what was said here was expressed by himself, that the situation is this. As far as we understand, Mustafa Kemal doesn't actually have the idea of marriage in his mind. He said something like this. He said, okay, it can be done.
but arrange a meeting with the Sultana.
Naturally, of course, as a Muslim says, can such a thing be?
A sultan?
Note that we don't use the term princess for women in the Ottoman. When you see a princess, you will understand this. The term princess is used for women coming from the Egyptian palace. For women in the Ottoman palace, the term sultan is used, not princess.
He said, can such a thing be?
How does a sultan meet?
Mustafa Kemal also says, ensure it.
And again, according to what the Peninsulars told, Mustafa Kemal supposedly said, let's meet, talk, you ensure it.
In response to this, Ms. Muniba supposedly said, sir, can you also provide this?
It's impossible, but if the Pasha's intention is serious, yet no one stands up to ask the Sultana for a moment. Yet the Sultana is in love with Abdülmecid's son. Of course, they will marry eventually.
The girl is in love with him. In conclusion, Mustafa Kemal, they are talking with Rasim Ferit. We don't know the exact day it happened.
He takes Rasim Ferit's arm.
They walk towards the Masca Park.
The subject arises while walking on the road. This marriage subject? As Mustafa Kemal explains,
Rasim Ferit says, stop.
Gosh, this is very wrong. Let me tell you once, he says.
He says you will get tired of this woman in a few months.
The woman you marry is a sultan. This won't work.
Then they talk about an Enver Pasha issue, the Nashiye Sultan issue, and so on. Rasim Ferit knows that such a marriage would be wrong for him, unsustainable because they constantly talk.
In conclusion, Mustafa Kemal supposedly said, you are my true friend, because everyone like the mother says marry.
You are my true friend. Yes, such a marriage won't happen.
Besides, the Sultana is already in love.
Umar Farooq is a very handsome man.
The girl is very beautiful.
In conclusion, sir, their marriage took place.
As we all know, Mustafa Kemal Pasha will have one marriage in his life thereafter with Miss Latifi.
Like every marriage, a strategic mistake.
Also, a strategic mistake. He married a girl from Izmir, a libertarian girl. Anyway, we will talk about that when it's time. Anyway, let's go back here again in conclusion.
Yes, sir. This is the story of Franco Pasha apartment.
We will detail it a bit more.
We will talk about these on another street further on.